But there's a lot of airspace to cover for Milroe. Corner, it's caught! Touchdown, Alabama! On a 4th and a mile! 31 yards!
Alabama, while I was born, Alabama, where I'm going. Don't throw your hands up, put up your hand. I ain't talking about it, hands up. I'm talking about the ham. I'm talking about the bill. A-L-A-B-A can make this what I live. Alabama, while I was born, Alabama.
Where I'm from, yes, indeed. What's going on, everybody? Christian Ballard of Ballard Sports Media coming at you with the official tidal wave talk for week 4, because we throw the 4s up in Tuscaloosa above our heads. Georgia comes to town. Alabama ready to take on the challenger. But will Alabama be the challenge for Georgia? Of course they will. What am I talking about? I'm not even making sense right now, am I? Let's cut to the chase. This is going to be a great game. College game day is going to be there in Tuscaloosa, undefeated, unbeaten. Alabama's conference opener, but Georgia last week, or 2 weeks ago, I should say, struggling with Kentucky on the road. Now, is that a factor of Kentucky having really, really good defense where Georgia was able to kick a field goal and late stop and everything, 13-12, or does Georgia really have issues? I think we're going to have to find out and see exactly what's going on here with Georgia. But you look at this game specifically. I pulled this up. It is Wikipedia. I know you can't always trust it. But according to the stat numbers, Alabama does lead the series 43, 26, and 4. You see the last meeting they won last year in the SEC title game in Atlanta, 27-24. By the way, yours truly, Ballard Sports Media, predicted that score on Facebook. You can go through my Facebook, I don't care, and you can find it. I got receipts. I called it. People were texting me, calling me, everything like that, out of the blue. I was at work. I did not watch the game. I did go back and watch highlights, though. And when you look at this game, here's the thing. It's a new era for Alabama. Same old Kirby Smart of Georgia, right? Carson Beck's the quarterback this time around. He was last year. But the big key change is the head coaching position at Alabama. Nick Saban was, what was he, 5-1 against Kirby Smart when it came to these matchups. Took the job Kirby did in 2016. Only lost one time to Kirby Smart, Nick Saban did, and that was the 33-18 national championship game where Keely Ringo picked off Bryce Young to run it back 70-something yards for a pick six. And that's a big thing for Georgia. But then they went back-to-back. Alabama wasn't even in the playoffs the following year. Alabama makes the playoffs last year, knocks Georgia out of it. Georgia, losing that SEC title game, had a case to get in as a one-loss team, could have had a chance at a three-peat. They got kept out of the playoffs. I thought maybe they should have got in, but it didn't make sense to put them in and not Alabama. That's just is what it is. But this game, and we'll talk about it. If you go back, you're watching this on a Friday, go back and listen to our touchdowns prediction show with pick'ems and stuff from this week with me and Mayhem Matthew. We're going to talk all about it there, but I want to reiterate and just say I think this game, much like the previous years, this year even, is going to be won in the trenches. Who's going to hold up to protect their quarterback against the defensive front of each team? And when you look at the defenses, especially for C.J. Allen on Georgia, who leads in tackles, Small Munden came back, Dalen Everett, Raylan Wilson, Malachi Starks, and Jalen Walker. All these guys come in. You got some young guys at freshman, Christian Miller, KJ Bolden, whoever out there. You got really experienced guys, and like Nazir Stackhouse out there who has 7 tackles. Uh, the thing is, what surprises me about Georgia's defense is they only have 8 sacks through the 3 games that they played. Now, that's not bad, but you would expect Georgia being so dominant on defense up front over the years with guys like Trayvon Walker and Jordan Davis or whoever, N'Kobe Dean, having those guys back in the day that helped win them those national championships going back to back and everything in the trenches, man, they got quarterback pressure, and they were able to get some pressure this season so far. Don't get it twisted. You know, you look at the defense, and you look at the sack leaders in Raylan Wilson and Jalen Walker, who each have 1.5. No one has hit over that. They do have 8 total so far through the first couple games, which is really, really good. Sack yards lost 79. That's almost the entire field. That's really, really good. Only 1 pick so far, though. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's been tough competition, which it has. I don't consider Tennessee Tech necessarily, but I say Clemson and I say Kentucky being Power 4 opponents have been a challenge for the Dogs in all seriousness. Alabama's faced their challenges too. Georgia at most has given up 12 points. The most Alabama's given up is 16 to USF. Well, who's the better defense? I think so far it's still Georgia. I really do. And I say that, not to downgrade what Alabama's done defensively. They look good with Jahad Campbell and Keon Sabb and Malachi Moore, Tim Keenan, Justin Jefferson. I could go down the list of these studs that Alabama has on defense. When you look at this game, this I'm telling you, this will be one up front. Can you protect Jalen Milroe? Can you protect Carson Beck if you're Georgia? Can you protect from the defense? Because these guys play fast and physical on both teams. That's fair. That's honest. That's a good assessment. You look at it, it's there. I'm very excited for this game. I know everyone's going to be watching it. Not to get political or anything, but Donald Trump even said that President Trump, him and his family, at least I think his wife Melania, are going to be at the game. Prayers go out to him. I know it's been a rough year, everything politically. I don't want to get too far in depth into it, but I just pray for safe travels and that everyone remains calm and safe at the game. So, that being said, this rivalry I mentioned, Alabama leads it 43, 26, and 4. And they won the last matchup. They have won the last 8 out of 9. And that one loss has come to Georgia in the 2022 national championship for the 2021 college football season. Of course, they met twice that year. Georgia has not won in Tuscaloosa since 2007, which was Nick Saban's first year. And Georgia was a top dog in that game. They were kind of an underdog, but they pulled it off in overtime. Number 22 beat number 16, 26-23, when Mikey Henderson caught it from Matthew Stafford. I actually remember that game. That was Saban's first year. This is DeBoer's first year. I go back and I compare, though, what Nick Saban was able to do at Alabama to prepare DeBoer for at least this first season. This is the year to try to win it all if you're Alabama. Not that his recruiting or anything's bad. It's really, really good. And he's a young mind. He can manage the system. He can do all that. But take advantage of opportunity today. Your first test of a national championship run. Forget Wisconsin last week. Forget what happened in that USF game. This is it. If you want to win a championship, you got to beat Georgia if you're Alabama, and you got to beat Alabama if you're Georgia. And that goes for every other team out there. You got to get past the Dogs and the Crimson Tide. Got to get past the Juggernauts. Well, they're going to meet this Saturday on the football field, September 28th, 2024. This game, by the way, is a 6:30 local kickoff in uh, in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. The spread has Georgia favored by 2. I believe it was 3 yesterday, so it looks like it's gone down, which means they're really liking this to be tight, really, really close, and won maybe at the last second. I could see a last second field goal. I could see a touchdown. I could see this game being on defense to win. I really could. And we'll give our prediction and everything a little bit later on. But this is gonna this is gonna get me nervous, man. I'm going live for the game on Saturday. Y'all tune in and we'll watch this game together, everything like that. I reached out to our friend Chess about coming on. I don't know if he will. I want to get Mayhem involved if he can. He might want to go on his channel, but I'm not sure. You look at the lead receivers too. Got to highlight some wide receivers in this day and age in football. Dominic Lovett with a passing touchdown or receiving touchdown, I should say, but he does have 12 receptions for 155 yards. It's really not even close between him and Ryan Williams. Ryan Williams is a stud freshman, and he's only 17 years old. Fact check me, right? 10 receptions, 285 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Literally, he's catching half of what Jalen Milroe has thrown into the end zone. Milroe's got 8 passing touchdowns. 4 of them have gone to Ryan Williams. The other 4, when you stack it up in receiving, Jeremy Bernard has 1, Kobe Prentice, and then Josh Sweevis, the tight end. I think I just butchered his last name. And then also Kendrick Law. So there you go. Will it be one of those games where if the team's up big enough in the fourth quarter, do you put the backups in? I don't think it's going to get that out of hand. I don't think this is you go back to that 2020 game, the last time they met in the regular season. It was in Tuscaloosa. And it was 41-24. Georgia was up at halftime. Alabama shuts them out the second half and runs away with it. I don't think that's going to happen. Could it? I think anything could happen when these two teams get on the field. But I think Kirby has learned so much since that loss to Alabama there. I also think Alabama, even though Nick Saban's out of the picture, have they grown and gotten better since they lost that championship game to Georgia? Have they gotten better since that SEC title game of last year where they were able to beat Georgia? Have they learned from the Rose Bowl loss? They haven't faced a tough challenge yet this year. I'm not going to count Wisconsin or USF, not Western Kentucky. This is it. This is the game of the year. This is what your eyes need to be on this Saturday night, 6:30 kickoff time in Tuscaloosa on September 28th. Everyone's going to watch it. Everyone's going to love it. You either want Georgia or you want Alabama. That's simple. You look at this game, these two juggernauts can hit the field. Anything can happen. It would not surprise me, and it shouldn't surprise anybody if Georgia loses, and vice versa. If Georgia wins, if Alabama wins, give them credit. Give them their props. Georgia's favored, and I don't blame them. They are the best team in the country so far. Until this Saturday, we will see what happens at Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium. All right, we got to get to the score prediction. You guys probably know I'm going to pick Alabama to win this game. There's no way I'd pick Georgia, right? Absolutely. That's crazy talk. They did not get lucky in that national title game, nor were they lucky in 2007. There's never look. I'm done with this whole. Oh, they got lucky because our receivers and no luck in football. You either win or you lose, and if you lose, you better own up to it. Alabama comes in. They are not the better team for the first time in a minute against Georgia. They just aren't. Georgia's ranked higher. Georgia has looked better. but both have had their strengths and weaknesses. The spread, if you're a betting person, is -2 Georgia. The over-under is 48.5. I might take barely. I might take the under on that. I see some good defense and a trenches battle here. I really do. I think this game has and has to be won in the trenches if you're Georgia and Alabama, no matter where the game's being played. Neutral site, Athens, Tuscaloosa, you name it. When you screen share this and everything too, let's get back to what it says on ESPN. 65.5% chance Alabama wins, 34.5% chance that Georgia wins. But Georgia is still the favorite. If this were in Athens, it might look a little different. It might be swapped. It's in Tuscaloosa. They favor the home team. This is honestly a coin flip game. I'm glad that SEC Nation's going. I'm glad that College Game Day is going to be there. You're going to have Nick Saban there. I don't know who the celebrity guest picker is. I've joked with people about Trump being at the game and like, oh, what if he's the guest picker and blah, 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 this and that. All of that is fun to think about. There can only be one winner, and at some point, maybe I pick Alabama to lose. I remember being so nervous. I was under the weather during that 33-18 championship game. I don't know if y'all remember that stream. I think I was coughing a bit. And, yeah, I didn't feel good that night. Before, during, or especially after the game. It felt off. It felt weird. And I hated it. I really did. But at the same time, folks, that, I just I have been coughing a lot lately. I've been under the weather. I've been heartbroken too at the fact that Nick Saban left us. At the fact that he retired with all these changes in college football. You just going to leave us like that? Nah. He didn't leave us. He'll be there at the game, man, up in the press box or something. Like I said, I was kind of under the weather in that 2022 national title game, but I stayed up and watched it and called it for you guys. I've been under the weather lately, and Georgia had won that game. Not this time. Give me Alabama, baby. You know what's coming. Alabama's going to win. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Go, Bama. Go, Bama. Go, Bama. Go. The spread is -2. Give me Alabama by a point. Late defensive stop or a field goal is what I'll take them with. You have it here, folks. The game of the year right here. And Ballard Sports Media has locked in his pick 31-30. Late defensive stop or a late field goal. Either way, Alabama gets it done in Tuscaloosa. You think I'm picking against Alabama against Georgia? You're crazy. If it was Nick Saban, you'd definitely be crazy to pick against him, right? I could get picking against DeBoer, but come on. This is Kirby Smart we're talking about, man. What's he done? He's done everything he could for Georgia and more. Kalen DeBoer's got to prove it. I think he can. I got to pick my team here. I can't give up. If it's in Athens, like it is next year, different story. This is Tuscaloosa, T-Town, baby. Let's go. Go party on the strip. Have fun. Be responsible. Be safe. I love y'all. God bless. And roll Tide, roll.
Roll Tide.
But there's a lot of airspace to cover for Milroe. Corner. It's caught. Touchdown, Alabama. On a 4th and a mile. 31 yards.
where I was born, Alabama,